What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 107.
Let's go.
Woo! Coming to you on this Monday evening with some Monday energy because it's also daylight savings time here, and we still do that stupid thing. And
California voted to get rid of it. Why do we still have it? We voted to
go.
go on to daylight savings, which is what we just did, and then just keep it.
Yeah.
So why are we still doing this?
I don't know. That is one of those where we're like, but why?
Just
yeah. Yes. But we are here to talk about anime. We're excited to talk to all of you. So if you're joining us live, join us over in the live chat. And if you're watching later, no worries, comment down below. Well, we're going to talk about some awesome, exciting news in case you missed some stuff over the weekend. We're going to be talking Solo Leveling, Delicious in Dungeon, recommendations, and also hear about a fun event coming up as well. Looking over in the live chat real quick, too, we got Gigadare says, howdy, all shots this week. Yes. Woo!
We went a little nuts. Well, it is St. Patrick's Day on Sunday, so.
That too. And then, yes, introductions. Hello, I'm Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
All right, so let's get into some things we're excited about. In case you were been under a rock, it was the Oscars.
It was the Oscars. I know that not everyone watches the ceremony for one reason or another, and I actually just looked up a list of winners afterwards because I was definitely at the cat shelter trying to socialize a very unhappy cat. That's how I spend my Sundays. But we got some very fun news from the Oscars, starting with the winner for Best Animated Features, Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. It is the second win for Miyazaki and for Studio Ghibli. It is the first win for GKIDS, who are the current Studio Ghibli distributors, I believe. And GKIDS is to celebrate with an upcoming nationwide re-release. So if you missed your chance to see The Boy and the Heron in theaters when it initially dropped, it sounds like you are going to get another chance, which is fun. This is it says 7th nomination for Studio Ghibli, and their second win. For those who remember, back in 2000 and I believe 2, it was Spirited Away.
We did talk about that.
Is the only other winner, and I believe the other nominees are. If you follow Crystal Chanel, she did a little video about this recently. Actually, The Wind Rises, Weekend with Marnie, and Howl's Moving Castle are also among the Ghibli movies that were nominated and did not win. And he's bringing it back around with The Boy and the Heron. It is also GKIDS' first win as a company after 13 nominations in the Best Animated Feature category. So lucky number 13 for them.
Woo!
So yeah, congratulations to Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. Congratulations to GKIDS. Just, this is pretty dang great.
Yes, we're excited for them, and that's awesome of anime game recognition. I did not watch it as well. I was busy, but it was great to see highlights. And I did see Ryan Colt Levy point out how when the animation segment came up, though, they're kind of like, I'm quoting from memory, it's something like, okay, be honest, whose kids voted on this? Essentially downgrading animation a little bit, and you're like,
oh yeah. And I'm going to be real. If this was a category of, we left the votes up to the kids, Spider-Verse would have taken it. That's
also, it depends on what age group too, because Elemental is there, and that could be a different age group, and it's like
it's
a medium, not a genre.
The Best Animated category was created after Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Feature Film, and the Academy went, we can't ever have that again, which is like, some bullshit. So that's the long and short of it. Winning the Academy Award is a hell of a thing to manage. And again, it's nothing to poo-poo about. Like, you still won. That's still pretty damn incredible. But we can say that's a fantastic thing to do, and also go, hey, Academy, get your shit together. Like,
yes,
you can hold both thoughts.
Oh yeah. And then the other exciting Oscar news, I'm like, hold on, I just had it. There we go. Yes. The other exciting one is Godzilla -1. It made history for taking home Best Visual Effects. So a Godzilla movie won an Oscar, which is awesome.
It is the first Godzilla movie to be nominated and I believe it's the first to be
Yes.
nominated. It's definitely the first to
It
win.
is first Academy Award for any Godzilla film, and Godzilla Minus One is the first Japanese language film to rack up a win in the
That's-
visual effects category, which very cool. Congrats
That's
to them.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
I'm sure people have seen these floating around the internet. It's definitely things that have made me happy. The entire Godzilla team that showed up was wearing the Godzilla heels that had like the claws on the end.
And they had
And
little
then
figures too.
when they won and they all stood up, they all had Godzilla figurines. And I'm sitting here going, I had one of those when I was 5. I think it's still in the toy box at my parents' house.
Nice.
So, things you grow up with, and then suddenly Academy Award winning Godzilla Minus Zero.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. Again, congratulations.
And Untitled says only Godzilla movie I've ever seen, but it was great. Really? Wow, that's cool. Well,
Damn.
Godzilla Minus One is your winner in more ways than one. Then,
Yeah. You say it's definitely
That's
one of the
awesome.
best damn Godzilla movies out there, to my understanding. I think the only one I've seen through was the 1998 one, which doesn't count.
Yes, it does. I like it.
Oh, that was an
Or
iguana.
at least when it came out, I liked it.
Oh
and-
yeah, no,
yeah.
it's a fun time. It's just also kind of one of those like. So maybe we leave the Godzilla movies to Toho after this.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, about that. But
Maybe-
congrats
maybe
to
we
the
don't.
congrats to both films. If you've seen them, let us know your thoughts down below. And if you haven't checked them out yet, you should be able to very soon, of either coming back to theaters or going to be available on a streaming platform, hopefully soon, so it can reach even more people. Breaking from our news segment, because we have a special guest
Yeah,
to
we
tell us
do.
about some exciting stuff coming on. So let me get our.
So it's also things we're excited about.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right. Bring to the stage. What's up, God's will?
Hey, hey, hey.
Woo-hoo!
Woo, thanks.
Hello. Oh, I
Hey,
gotta-
good seeing you guys. It's been a
Good
minute.
to see you too.
Yes, good to see you. I was trying to look at our banner of, I mean, it still goes under things we're excited about, but yes,
Yeah.
you have
Excellent.
some events coming up, and we
Ye-
brought you on so you could let the people in the interwebs know about them.
Absolutely. First off, congratulations to Godzilla. Like honestly, that was my favorite movie last year.
Nice.
Yeah, like I've seen Shin Godzilla, I've seen the OG Godzilla, I've seen a few other Godzillas, but this one takes the cake, and I think is well deserved. Like the prices it got. I wish it got some more, but hey, we take what we get, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
genre films getting awards is always exciting. And getting nominated,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Absolutely,
doesn't
people need to
happen
watch
often.
it. Yep, exactly. So I'm hoping that this is like a new trend. People
Mhm.
will get into more foreign films, more films that are
Mhm.
outside of what they think will be amazing. Because I had no expectations when I walked into it, but it blew me away. I cried a few times. So yes. And then events are happening this month. I'm doing a Final Fantasy VII party in Dallas and in Los Angeles. So I'll be doing the Dallas party on March 23rd. And then I'll be doing the Los Angeles party on March 30th, 1 week apart. What I'm planning to do is it'll be a gold saucer celebration. Like it is a celebration of the Final Fantasy franchise, honestly, but mainly Final Fantasy VII. We're gonna be doing a casino theme. It'll be food, themed drinks. There'll be games, a lot of prizes. We're having bodybuilders. We're gonna be
Really?
we're gonna be having bodybuilders, like doing some contests. In Los Angeles, we're having chocobo racers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's we got a lot going on. A lot that people can also bet on, so they can get some prizes. It'll be a fun time. Like this is gonna be a really packed event. We're even having some live performances too. So we have some people who will be playing music from the franchise. It's gonna be a great time. Like I wanted this to be a different party than like other things that are going on. Not just like a regular dance party or just a cosplay party, but something that will be fun for people to check out.
All right, I think I got it here of
Casino
Yay!
party is.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
got the
Absolutely.
flyer up. Oh wait, let's hide. There we go. Here is the info.
Absolutely. So
people.
yeah, we got the QR codes there if you want to take a picture of it. We had an artist, James Val, Kentaro PJJ. He did the art for this. I'm really proud of it. Yeah, I wanted this to be like a good celebration of Final Fantasy VII. I love Final Fantasy VII. Like right now I'm actually playing Rebirth. I just finished Crisis Core last night, like 100% of that game. Yeah, like I get into it. Um, I adore this franchise. So, and actually, I wanted to do this party 4 years ago, but then, of course, 4 years ago, a whole thing called a pandemic happened. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So now, things are finally chilled out with that. Time to do the party again. What better time than with this one? If this goes well, then hey, when the third game comes out, I gotta do another party for that. But I've been
Absolutely.
wanting to do a dope party for Final Fantasy. I think it deserves it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me talk about it too.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Mm.
And then if I mean, we had the QR code, but where's a good spot for people to go look to find more information or reach out or get their tickets?
Yeah, we do have a page called That's Dope Entertainment. That's the group name of this party planning segment that I do. That's Dope Entertainment. We're on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we have more information there where you can click on it. Also, we're on Eventbrite, of course. Like that's where you can find out more about this information. So yeah, like if you go to our pages, also I can give you guys a link if you guys are interested in pushing that. But otherwise, we are also if you go on my personal pages too, so God's Will Ugwa Jr., my full name, then you'll be able to find more information about that there too.
All right.
Nice. What's
Okay,
the most like? What are you most excited about for the upcoming events?
Oh, like for this event or for other events down the line?
Yes.
This one, yeah, yes.
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 Yes
So, yeah.
to all.
Yeah. So for this event, what I'm most excited for, like for sure, like in Los Angeles, we have like this secret theme. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's a Chocobo Racer. So we have like a thing going on with that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And also I'm excited for the performances. Like I have a friend, IQ, like he's helped me like find some people that like are passionate about Final Fantasy and are also really good musicians. I'll be having more information about them pretty soon, but I'm really excited about these musicians like doing their thing. Also, we have some dancers for the Los Angeles party that will be performing too. Yeah, we have a lot going on. Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
I wanted this to be stacked to the gills with it. So I'm excited to see the cosplay. I'm excited to see the people performing, the bodybuilders that we got. You know, squats like are such a huge aspect of Final Fantasy VII for some reason. So it's like, why not have guys that squat and maybe people can bet on them, or they can join in on the fun if they want to get in there. We're not gonna do like marathons, you know, like where people are gonna be getting sweaty with it, but maybe just
Oh my
like
God.
a few squats, you know, here and there, who can do it the best, right? You know, ways for people to win more prizes because we also have a lot of prizes that we want to give out too. And then for down the line, later on in springtime, I guess, yeah, in May, we'll be doing in May we'll be doing a convention. So I have a convention that I've been doing. This will be year 2. It was called Waifu Expo the first year. Now it's called Kimochi Con, and that will be in Dallas, May 16th through 19th. It's 18 plus like anime convention, but like ran by like OnlyFans models. So yeah, it's like a very open experience. There's lots of fun. Like our main thing is safety and security, but also expression for all different types of people. So not just not just
It's more than just waifus.
exactly, absolutely that.
Open-minded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're very well said. Like where we wanted this to be more than just waifus or just a type of person, but we wanted this to be open to a lot of people. That's why we changed the name to KimochiCon. Kimochi means it feels good. So
There
we
you
want
go.
this to be a con that people feel great at, you know. And,
Nice.
yeah, right now, like we are stacked with models, a lot of different activities. We have tattoo designers that are going to be there. We have more rooms. We're at a hotel that's different, that's working with us better than the one that we were at before. So I'm very excited to see what we got or what will be there in the finals. Like right now, we're still just planning everything going on.
Very
It's nice
cool.
when
And
the
then
venue works with you.
Yeah, what a
yes.
concept, right? The last venue was trying to gaslight us, and they charged us too much. And at the end, they're like, "Oh yeah, you paid for this and you paid for this," so it just wasn't great. And also, like weirdly enough, there was like other events happening at the same time. Like there was
Oh no.
oh man, like in Dallas, there was a QAnon group that was there, and then there was like a Boy Scouts of America thing happening in a different spot. And it was just like, what is
Oh
going
no.
on, y'all? Yeah, it was chaotic.
Oh
Just got
dear.
separated. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely need to be separated. I'm not trying to get the Boy Scouts into what we're doing just yet. So
Yeah.
No, that
yeah,
different,
Yeah.
different.
Yes. Now, for more information on that convention and just keeping up to date, would it be best to follow? You mentioned is the It's Dope Entertainment also have that info too?
we do. We do
Okay,
have
cool.
that. Although, if you really want more KimochiCon information, it would be best to go on our KimochiCon page. That's KIMOCHII, and we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then also like our my co-owner with it, Juliet, Bishojo Mom. She posts about it a ton also. So
Cool.
yeah, so also
Yeah.
I need to post more about it on my page, but I think I'm just waiting until like we get closer to it. And also let me finish at this Final Fantasy event, then I'll talk more about that. Yeah.
No, it's great to have something in the immediacy happening and then planning down the road. So in case people can't come to one, there's other things that you're connected to, which is awesome.
Like
Absolutely.
one thing at a time.
Yeah.
I'm trying. There's so much going on that it just also feels like I just need to. I think I feel that fire once again. For a while, I was like, I just need to chill out. Now I'm like, okay, let me get back into doing some
Yeah.
more dope events.
Good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, you're like dusting it off and like cracking knuckles and ready to go.
Yep. Trying to get back into that energy and that spirit, and especially before con season really starts going, because I bet no, that's gonna be crazy. Y'all are gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got my ticket already.
Good.
Yeah. And for those of you listening going, but WonderCon's that weekend. Yeah, the party's like less than an hour's drive away. So you can do Saturday at WonderCon, do the party, Uber back to your hotel room or drive or whatever if you're safe to drive, and then do Sunday of WonderCon. It's doable.
I love the way you think. And yeah, honestly, it's like this would be a great after-con type of deal to do. If you're in LA, absolutely something that you might want to come check out. Because this is going to be a lot of fun. It's not just a dance, no shade to dances or nothing, but this is like a lot more than just a regular type of party.
Full
So
experience event.
exactly.
All kinds of stuff going on.
I love
Not
that.
everyone wants to go to the club. Some people want a little more engagement. And
Yeah.
as someone who's been to a couple of your parties and has had an absolute blast every time, highly recommended. Love the engagement, love the events. So yeah, for those watching, you should come. It's good.
Absolutely. We're in Dallas and we're in Los Angeles, so multiple venues for you to check out this time around. And it means a lot that you say that. Like I want these parties to be genuinely great times. Like you come to it and you're like, I had a blast. I would definitely come to it. It was worth the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's looking over of yes. So there's, if in case you were curious on this, the spelling is pretty straightforward, but go check out Godzilla on social media as well. Update all the cool stuff that you are working on. So yay! Also, is there anything else you'd like to add? It's been awesome hearing about your events coming up, and yes, we're happy to share that and let other people know about it. Is there anything else before we let you go?
At the moment, just trying to plan for these things that are happening. I have my own podcast. Actually, I need to get you guys on my podcast. I would love to talk to you guys about like how you guys do what you guys have been great to me throughout the years, and I would love to share the love to you guys too. But otherwise, yeah, right now my head's just sort of down with that, and then also Final Fantasy VII. Now that I got to play the game before the parties happen. So I just 100% at Crisis Core. Now I'm just like, let me see how far I can go with Rebirth before it's party time.
I mean, has Rebirth gotten through? I know they're releasing Rebirth chapter by chapter. Like, if they've gotten through the Golden Saucer parts, you have to at least get there.
Exactly. No, absolutely. Like that's my main goal right now. Like, where let me beat this game as far as I can to get to the Gold Saucer to be like, ideas.
Yes. What else can I add?
But yeah, otherwise, yeah, just really focus like on these events. Work is pretty chill right now. Yeah, we're gonna Viz Media stuff. We're gonna start getting more into that. I think summertime. So
Sweet.
yeah,
Calm
so
season. Yeah.
yep,
Yep.
exactly. So I think like
Yep.
June, that's when like things will start getting like more heavy. But otherwise, right now,
Cool.
thankfully, things are at a good breathing point right now.
Good.
Yay.
Glad to hear it.
We look forward to all the exciting events you got going on coming up.
Awesome. It means a lot. And you guys have been a great support. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for
Aw,
coming on.
Yeah, thank you for
Absolutely.
joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Have a good
Peace,
night.
y'all.
Thanks.
Yeah, you guys have a good
Bye.
one.
And yes, go
It's
check
always
out
so good to
God's
talk
Will.
to him.
Yes, always pleasant. And go follow for more information and be up to date. Because I know that was a lot of info, but it's all out there online to get all the deets and get all the final stuff there.
And for those going, I don't really cosplay or I don't really know much about the theme. I don't cosplay either. I just kind of dress to theme. I'm going to be wearing a nice dress to this. I'm just going to dress up like I am, as it were, going to the club and going to go have fun. So
Y'all,
if you are nearby either of them, I highly recommend going. These parties are an absolute blast.
yes. And it's one of those things of you can tell a lot about an event behind with the people who run it, and God's Will is good people. So, you know, event is in turn good. Yes. All right, getting back into some news. We got, where is it?
I have from High Dive. Original anime Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night brings unique slice of life to High Dive this April. And the North American premiere screening is set for March 29th at Anime Boston 2024. So if you're at Anime Boston, definitely check this out. You will be getting the first 2 episodes for the premiere. Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night is set in central Tokyo's Shibuya City. Shibuya City is the center of Japanese youth culture, and its streets are a frenzied mix of fashion, art, entertainment, and nightlife, providing the perfect backdrop for this unique slice of life coming-of-age ensemble drama and its cast of characters. I saw a moment where there it is. It's here on Shibuya's late-night streets that illustrator Mahiro Kozuki, former idol Kano Yamanouchi, VTuber Kiwi? Kiui Kiwi? It just sounds like I'm saying kiwi incorrectly. Kiwi Watase and composer Mei Kim Anouk Takanashi, 4 young women who are slightly outside the world, join together and form an anonymous art group called Jelly. I also want to shine like someone else. If it's not me, but we, then we might be able to shine. So this, as someone who loved Ya Boy Kongming 2 seasons ago, which was also on High Dive and was phenomenal. This sounds like a ton of fun. It looks like if it's dropping in April, then it's coming down the line for the spring season. And again, if you are at Anime Boston this year, March 29th, go ahead and see the premiere of the first 2 episodes. This just sounds like a really good time.
And High Dive has some really cool and unique stuff, so always looking forward to seeing what they have in their lineup. There we go. Words and things. Yes. All right. Another thing. Yes. Okay. More on the manga side. So we were talking about anime, and now we're talking about manga. Tokyopop announces Disney manga, The Art of Amphibia. And the publisher Tokyopop expands its catalog of licensed Disney titles, and it announces the release of Disney manga, The Art of Amphibia. It's coming out November 19th, 2024, so this year, end of the year.
Nice.
And this is an Emmy-nominated comedy series, so awesome. And it chronicles the adventures of an independent and fearless teen after she is magically transported to a rural marshland full of frog people and meets an excitable young frog and his family. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. It was created and produced by Matt Brawley. And again, apologies if we ever pronounce anything wrong.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
Yeah. Amphibia is available to stream on Disney Plus. So in case you want to watch it, you can check it out on Disney Plus. But if you're interested in the art book, you can check that out. And then, oh yes, that's what it was. right over. Yes. Go follow us over on Twitter and we'll post pictures of this. So in case you're like, well, what's it look like? We will share some pictures for you because art books are pretty.
Yes.
And we want to check it out. So yes, check it out. It'll be available on the 19th of November. And it's going to be 224 pages. Nice. And if that's a thing later on, somebody as a gift, you can always pre-order it or,
Yep.
Save them a little like printout of the order and then you can give that as a gift.
Yeah, you can put that in a little card and be like, it'll be out in November. It's
Ooh.
coming to you. Or it.
Untitled says, ooh, I love Amphibia. Nice.
Well, there you go.
Yay.
It will also be out in time for most, if not all, of your gift-giving holidays.
Yes.
Which are all, most of them are backloaded at the end of the year.
Nice.
So,
and
yes.
Nice. And
Mm.
something else. We kind of went past the topic, but swinging back on it. Godzilla -1. There is a new color poster variant from Mondo that is out. And we will also share that on our Twitter. And this one, you can pre-order this poster, and it's going to be available March 14th, so in a couple days, through Monday the 18th. So you got to pre-order that. It's get it while it's hot. And it is on, what's the website?
But if you want some Godzilla on your wall,
mondoshop.com/blog/news Godzilla -1. So pretty much if you go to mondoshop.com, search Godzilla, you will find it.
I would imagine this would be pretty far up the page if it's a limited
Yes.
pre-order.
And so this is poster is 24 by 36 inches, and it is a nice big poster. So yes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, they sent us an image.
I
We'll
like
put that on our Twitter. Oh, it looks really good.
Yes.
So if you want some Godzilla on your walls, you'll have the opportunity in, what's today? The 10th, the 12th? 11th.
I know,
Smack
right?
in the middle. You'll have the opportunity on Thursday.
I'm glad you had the day. I'm like, I have the date, but when? But yes, check that out.
St. Patrick's Day is Sunday, and I'm kind of counting forward and counting back from that.
Fair.
It's the little landmark dates, and then I do math. Why are we like this? Yes. Why do we do math? Why does this exist?
I think we had another little bit of news before we get into our show.
We do have another little bit of news. The opposite of why does this exist. We're very excited for this. From Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll summons Dan Da Dan anime series from Science Saru, making first contact October 2024. So this is, October would be our fall season, I believe.
I think so.
It is. Yeah. A boy who believes in aliens and a girl who believes in ghosts. A fateful high school love story swept up in the occult and otherworldly misadventures. You guys, this sounds amazing.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. Dan Da Dan invades Crunchyroll schedule this October 2024. Dan Da Dan will be simulcast from Japan on Crunchyroll worldwide, excluding Asia, with new episodes every week. So, yeah, losing my mind. The adaptation will be directed by Fuga Yamashiro, whose credits include assistant director on Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken and Tatami Time Machine Blues. And the script is written by Hiroshi Seko, who did the final season of Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen. So there is a pedigree for this one. And Science Saru, the animation studio, also did Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Devilman Crybaby, and several episodes of Star Wars Visions, as well as the recent Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. So you've seen this style. You know what this looks like. It looks like it is going to be so much fun. So keep an eye out for that in October. Yeah. Aliens, ghosts, spoopy love story. Probably maybe a little bit of slice of life, we don't know, but I'm here for this. This sounds like a lot of fun.
I was going to say, then our transition of stuff is, speaking of animation, let's get into some solo leveling.
Oh my God. Speaking of spoopy.
And spoopy. I love that we called that too, because we were like, we don't trust that mofo, and we were right. We're like, just and it's like, oh, that went further than I expected, though. Did you see that coming? Where he's like, nah, fuck, I'm gonna kill everybody.
The second that we got into, I'm murdering the prisoners, and then we cut back to Kim and Kang. It's like, oh boy, here we go. Yep,
Yeah.
that's just going to be it. He's just going to silence all the
Yep.
witnesses, and this is okay. Okay.
Yep.
I was not expecting to feel bad for Kim. I
Mm.
definitely felt bad for him by the end of the episode
Oh, yeah.
because,
Yeah.
and just his whole thing about, I want to give him a formal apology. There's no chance in hell that he will ever forgive me, but that is the absolute least I owe him. We left one of our own
Yes.
behind. We don't do that.
Yep.
And then just getting murdered for being in the wrong place at the wrong time with, as it turns out, the wrong people.
Yeah.
Because this is the sort of job where you would think that the occupational hazards would come from the monsters, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
running into your dungeon serial killer is a once in a blue moon. It happened to a friend's cousin's ex-boyfriend once, you know?
Mhm.
You don't ever expect to do it yourself, especially in a low-level D rank easy
Yep.
dungeon. Like, again, the biggest danger is going to be whatever the boss room is. But
And I
no,
totally thought
it's
too, I'm like,
the
no, dude, back up. You just pretend you didn't see it.
that was also my call, because again, I watched this with my roommate. That was also my comment, was like, all you had to do was turn around. And she's like,
Yes.
he probably said that without thinking. Was
Oh, yeah. No,
probably
100%.
acting
You'd be
out of
like, wait, what
shock.
happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You need
This
a
is not
moment
either of
longer
us.
to go.
Yeah.
You know.
This is not either of us going, it was his fault, because it wasn't. There's a
No,
serial
this is
killer in
just
the
one of
dungeon.
those. Mm,
But this is also
uh,
one of those, you can do 1,000 dungeons and nothing ever happens. But
yeah.
the second the shonen protagonist camera comes around, then you're going to run into a whole bunch of bullshit. Because this is damn it,
There goes,
Jared
damn
Leto.
it, Jared Leto.
This is Sung's second serial killer dungeon in a row.
Yeah.
Because the one immediately previous to this,
Yeah.
well, the one immediately previous to this was his own private dungeon where he nearly got his ass murdered by Cerberus. But his going with a party dungeon immediately prior to this was the Craigslist dungeon
You know.
with the spider.
Yes.
So, dude.
Do we think the system kicks in only when it's humans trying to kill him? Because monsters are trying to kill you doesn't matter. They're trying to kill you. But human, it's the intent for murder, and that's what makes it kick on when they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't come on monsters, so it's just people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the system only sets that as a quest, because you go in a dungeon, you expect to kill monsters. Like,
Yes.
if there's an aggressive monster, it's already on your to-do
Yes.
list to McMurder it and strip it for parts. Like,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
that's known. It is, generally speaking, outside the capacity. Killing another guy is not going to be your first thoughts, unless that's something you like to do, something you had planned to do. Like,
Mhm.
killing another guy is going to be your first thoughts if you are, our dungeon serial killers who do this for fucking funsies, I guess. But generally speaking, someone who goes in as a hunter is going in to kill monsters. So
Yep.
the system going, also, I need you to McMurder this man, is the Jesus Christ, the system recognizing. That's where we are. The system recognizing that it needs to put other, more specific parameters in place. That this is no longer just a monster killing trip, which is normal. This is, okay, we have to make this guy a side quest, because if we don't, then, oh no, let's do that little extra incentive to make sure that the player stays alive.
So I just had the visual that wasn't necessarily ahead of time, but in my head I visualized, okay, so we don't really know about how this is working. And it was either the omnipresent, it is like a computer system that was like, virus detected, and like reacts. Or is it a person controlling it and the person's just like, nope, and pushes the button and it's like, okay, now you have to react. And it's just kind of a funny thought that we are only covering these episodes. Side note, if anybody's new here, so no spoilers, please. You can laugh to yourself about our theories. But it was just kind of a funny visual. I'm like, wouldn't that be interesting if it was somebody watching who's like, oh, gosh darn it, someone's trying to contaminate my, my specimen, and like,
you're doing it too. Yeah, to me, this does read as more of an automated system.
Yeah.
You build in certain parameters. If this person is a player, then you have a lot of if-thens built
Mhm,
around them.
mhm.
If they pass the daily quest, then
Yep.
they get rewards. If they fail, then it's a punishment dungeon. If there's a person around them that beats X parameter of bloodlust, then they become a side quest in order to keep the player alive. Things like so coding is a complex system of if-thens. And
Yes.
it's very, very, very base. And I'm not going to pretend to know more about enough about coding to be able to say more than that.
No, I think
Honestly,
that's pretty good. I
it's
was just
just,
trying to
but
look up.
it's if-thens. And so this strikes me as maybe there is a higher power doing a little tweaking, but it has just been if then, if then, if then, if then.
Yep. Oh, here it is. There we go. It is Lee Juhi's. I think is that her name? Lee Juhi.
Yes, our healer
Our
girlfriend.
healer. Which side note
Whom I
with
love.
her, and I do love her. Who was our and what's his name? And like I got the names here, and I'm trying to pull them up.
You give me a who are we talking about?
Her, like the two of them.
Song?
The two Song.
Mr.
Yeah,
Song,
okay. So
whom I
Song
love.
and Lee Ju.
Yeah, Juhi.
Juhi. I love the moment where he's like, I'm gonna go do this dungeon. And he's like, are you sure you should go do that? And I'm like, bro, he just did all of this. Did you notice? And he goes, never mind. You're gonna be
Yeah.
fine. And I felt that is that satisfying moment when you're watching something and the characters express exactly what you, the viewer, is feeling. Because as soon as he's like, are you sure? I was all, really? Did you just watch the same fight? And then immediately he goes, just kidding.
See, for me, that is, he's been watching over Sung for forever. Like, you can kind of see in flashbacks, they're familiar with it. He's been watching over him for a while. So for me, that's however many months or years of making sure this kid doesn't die, going,
yeah,
are you sure? Things have changed. Things have changed.
Loved it. But that I felt that worked well for like comedic timing too. Yeah, you're fine. And
also, can we talk about Mr. Song being just a gallivanting badass?
Oh, so good. Like, doesn't need an extra arm. He's fine. And he can do magic and sword fighting. And yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I do love, like, the previous episode and this one are just a fantastic self-contained little two-parter. Because the scene that I really pointed out last week is like, there's just this random ass scene saying they all have to die. All laid out in here, like, this is what it is, this is why it happened, okay. But the fact that we put so much emphasis on Song's kendo expertise and how even though he's lost an arm, he hasn't lost a lifetime of training. He's still very skilled in this art that he chose to pick up and he worked on. And him just thinking about, yeah, when I awakened as a hunter and all of my stuff was magic based, it's like the sword skills that I know don't mean anything in a dungeon. I have to work with what my awakened abilities gave me. The sword skills that he knew let him stand up to a dude and survive for a while. And I think if Juhi hadn't been burned out from trying to save Kim, she could have kept, like, her healing keeps breaking, and I just sit here and go, damn, that broke. And then, no, she tried to pull a guy back from the brink of death. She did her absolute best there, and that is a huge power sink.
Yeah.
So just that moment of, man, every time we see her healing breaks too. Well, the first time it was attempting to pull multiple people back from the brink of death, and this time it was attempting to pull a guy back who died anyway, and then still keeping going.
Yep.
She's a pretty solid healer. She's higher ranked than anyone else there, except for serial killer.
Yeah.
Except for fucking Ghostface up in here.
It's all mental, though. I would say a lot of it's mental, though, too. It is literal exhaustion because, like you said, yeah, she had to bring someone back, or tried, and it is just the trauma of what she's been through and getting back in that. She hasn't really been back since, like, the most traumatic of your life experience. So
yeah,
it's gonna take some time, but that is a great combo of, like, healing that. And actually, the other thing too of how Song's awesome of when they have the investigator afterwards, and he's like, yeah, that was me.
It's like, that was totally me. And I totally teamed up with this awesome B rank healer. She kept me up. And it was just a battle of attrition. It was great. Sung was here too.
Yeah.
Just like, sure, our E rank was also here.
Yeah.
And the skeletons are part of it.
Yeah.
Just and this is and then we're going to go back and talk about the fight and the motivation, everything in a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe I talked about this a few weeks ago. This is what I wanted because now he has two people who know him
Yes.
very well,
Mhm.
know his
Mhm.
secret, and be in his corner. Like
Yes.
he needs someone to counterbalance. The particular skill tree he is following right now is very assassin based. And they're like, oh, yeah, you've got an assassin build, whatever. But also the comment about, well, there goes another one of my emotions. Like, hey, buddy. Hey, you all right there? You good? And the answer is no.
No.
But I think having a friend, crush, girlfriend, it's complicated on Facebook. Whatever, you know,
multi-layered relationship. Yes.
Someone who cares about him and cared about him beforehand and has been keeping his ass alive in dungeons. Long story, very short. And a mentor figure who has been mentoring him for a chunk of time, who again knew him beforehand, knows him now, knows his secret. Two people who know him and who can help counterbalance whatever kind of horrifying path he's going down. Like we talk about him making all the wrong decisions. Hopefully having a few people there to help will help him make the right ones.
The other person I'm curious about is, I know we're pivoting a little bit, but speaking of investigating, but
our A rank investigator.
Yep. Chinchu.
What do you mean my subordinate was a serial killer? It's like, sorry that you were working with Ghostface the whole time.
Yes.
I realize that Ghostface may not be the absolute best metaphor in this one, but he kind of did a Ghostface monologue and went a little nuts. So all he's missing is a mask.
Yeah.
All he's missing is a mask and a partner.
A little bit with like the smoky thing that, makes him be invisible.
Fair. So. Just the full surprise Sydney bit. Like, all he's missing was a mask and a partner in crime.
Yeah.
Unless you do Scream 3, which is the only one that has a single Ghostface.
Well, I was going to say himself because he talks a lot out loud that I'm like, do you talk to yourself, sir? It's okay. I do too. But, it makes it seem like he's the cliche villain of let me tell you all the things.
It's fine if I do it because I'm not fictional and not a serial killer. Yes. So like.
Yeah.
And it's. Yeah. Characters like this are always kind of about as deep as a puddle. And sometimes that's disappointing. And sometimes that's just kind of what you need to move the plot along. Because occasionally there are people like this. Like it's not as frequent as fiction would have you believe.
I'm okay with it for him too, because it was like an episode and a half essentially. But I'm hoping we get more of the other investigator because like that character we barely have met.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm hoping there's going to be more depth there. And I think there will be. Like, we haven't seen them. There could be room for seeing them more.
And if I'm remembering correctly, and chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, this investigator also works fairly closely with the chairman. Like, we've seen them sparring once or twice.
Yes.
So I can see him folding in on this more and then becoming more bringing the chairman in. Like, that
they seem like good people.
They seem. I mean, we haven't seen much of them so far.
So. Yeah, yeah. We've had decent sense of people so far, ish. Because Kang right away, we're like, I don't trust him.
Like, and who is this guy? With he? Sure, he sure is occurring. Great, but yeah, no, I don't see Sung keeping his secret for too much longer if he's going to insist on continuing to do dungeon runs, essentially. Like, there's really no two ways about it.
For now.
Yeah, for now is really the bitch of it all.
It's a key.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, we barely touched on it, but yeah, animation. This is one of those I'm like, A1, do your thing. This looks just gorgeous,
yeah.
and the movement of everything, and just the excitement. And it is in a small space, all things considered, but it was, incredibly cool to watch the process of it, and essentially two assassin types. Though our character, I love his final I'm different and I'm leveling up every time we fight. And I was like, all right, he has his villain monologue now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or villain hero rebuttal. Yeah.
It's like, hey, buddy, just because you're an anti-hero doesn't make you a hero.
Yeah. Not there yet.
Again, hopefully with Song and Juhi knowing things, like hopefully that will kind of pull him off
I'm
of that path. That said, I loved the interpretation of what murderous intent, like his little feet, looks like from the other side. That was such a good
Love
interpretation of it.
Yeah.
I also love that he waited until pretty much the end of the battle to be like, sure, yeah, I'll do my little full restore and we'll be great. And then I'll just drown you. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Like, could you not have led with that, sir? I realize it's less dramatic for the audience, but also, you need to stop. You showboat like this, you're going to get your ass murdered.
Yeah. But yeah, this one was an exciting, good episode.
Yeah.
I feel those are the main things. I really do like that he's back with his friends, people who he trusts, and who could be like, yo, dude, come back from the ledge.
Pretty sure he's going to go out to dinner with Juhi. Because she had that crystal that he gave her. Like,
that was so cute. It's like, this was we gotta go out. I'm like, I think way to ask him back out for a date.
I think the bit that sent me, just at the very end of that, it cuts to her and she like took her little capelet off. What the hell is up with her shirt? Like, it's a very cute shirt. A little like,
I was like,
not off shoulder.
Okay.
Like, that's really cute. That's a really nice little fashion thing. Why did you wear that into a dungeon? Like,
because you want to look cute.
Did you just like go into a dungeon and just not wear a bra? Did you like these things fall down your sleeve? It's like, why? It's like, yes, it's very cute. I understand it, but also for practicality's sake, I know maybe you wanted a glow up after your mother nagged you to hell and back on that phone call, but can we still be practical about it? Like, that was my one complaint, was like, for real? You wore that into a dungeon? No, that's a perfect nighttime date outfit. That's cute as hell. Why did you wear it into a dungeon?
Save time for changing later. No, I don't know. Giga Derek has an interesting point. He kind of resembled the statues from the first episode when he killed Kang.
So I'm pretty sure I've made this comment before, but every time my roommate and I watch this, it's just he continues to look like Sans Undertale. Like, they've got a real big Sans vibe going on here. That's not a good thing. Did you ever play Undertale? Did you ever? So,
no.
Put up Tangent Corner, because this requires an explanation.
All right.
It's a whole thing. It came out about probably a decade ago at this point.
What's it called?
Oh my God. Undertale.
Undertale. Okay.
It is I believe it's technically 64-bit, but old school style video game by Toby Fox.
Yeah. Nope.
The premise is you are a human, you fall down a mountain into the realm of monsters, and you are trying to get back out.
I have seen TikToks that use songs.
It's heckin' popular, and the music is amazing.
Yes.
But it's one of those games where how you choose to play does affect how the game goes. You can choose to kill everything you run into. You can choose to negotiate with things, tell jokes, make friends, etc. And how you approach the game not only changes the ending, but changes the full gameplay experience. Some monsters will talk to you, some will hide, they'll have different dialogue options. There are boss fights that are or aren't available depending on what you do, or they play out differently depending on what you do.
Yeah.
And through it all, one of the characters, his name is Sans. He's a little short skeleton. He's always wearing a blue hoodie. His whole thing is that he's lazy. He's kind of a joker. He loves puns. He doesn't really get involved, but he is a vibe. He's just kind of a funny guy to be around.
Yeah.
Unless you really, really fuck things up. There is an option in the game that is come to be known as the genocide run. And that is not only you kill everything you come across, but you go out of your way to kill everything in the game. And if you do a genocide run, like towns empty out ahead of you, NPCs disappear, you miss a lot of things because you are specifically going out of your way to be a monster.
Yeah.
And the ending boss fight for the genocide run is Sans because he's literally the only one left. And it turns out that he is aware of when you save and reset the game. He experiences it as like time loops. And he's like, oh yeah, he only does 1 damage per attack. But it just ticks down and ticks down and ticks down. So functionally, it's like being poisoned. And it is the most difficult boss fight in the game, hands down. It's a 15 to 20 minute endurance run, and it has almost no margin for error, depending on how you play. And yeah, when Sans is mad and when he's fighting, one of his eyes glows bright blue. So we get all of this stuff with Sung, and he's always wearing his blue hoodie, and then you get the face and shadow and the one bright blue eye, and he's about to go murder someone. I'm like, all right, cue up Megalovania. It's a beautiful day outside. Birds are singing, sky is clear. On days like this, kids like you should be burning in hell. It's like, great, we're starting up the boss fight. Oh
So
my
it looks
god.
8-bit, but the music plays like normal music, yeah?
The music is also, again, I think it's more 64-bit. There's a little more versatility, but
Oh,
it's
okay,
still
okay.
like retro looking. But no, the
Okay.
music is all 64-bit as well.
Okay.
And it's
yeah, I was like-
unbelievably good. Like the Undertale soundtrack, I don't usually do video game soundtracks on their own. They really have to make an impression. The Kingdom and Megalovania plays in the distance. Megalovania plays in the fucking foreground. Which is
but
the
this
name
funny,
of the
something, no, I
song.
absolutely do know. I'm like, I have seen TikToks of cosplays of those characters and lip syncing those songs. So
Yeah.
I am aware.
Yeah, Megalovania is essentially the Sans boss fight music.
Got it.
It's honestly a fantastic piece. Like all of the Undertale music is incredibly good, and the leitmotifs and the way they go into each other. There's music in that soundtrack that just makes me cry. So, yes, Undertale, heck of a game. If you want to see a really good playthrough, Jacksepticeye does a very good pacifist run, and then of course he follows it up with a very good genocide run.
If you play this game or have played it, let us know your thoughts down below. Or if you're like me and you've seen the TikToks, also let us know.
The TikToks, the memes, the cosplay, the fandom that blew up and made a bunch of its own iterations back in the day. Yeah, no, Undertale was kind of a cultural phenomenon online. So
fair.
It's a hell of a game.
I think that's it.
So
for
yeah,
Solo
Sans
Level.
Undertale. Just
right.
every
Got
time.
it. Yes.
Every time Sung shows up, gets mad, and has like the one glowing blue eye, it's like, all right, cue up Megalovania. Someone's gonna fucking die.
Are we anything else, or he's looking at the
that's
chat? Gary Derrico, slightly on topic.
AEW.
AEW. I'm like, what? Wrestler Kenny Omega did a very good.
I've seen that.
Sans cosplay entrance. Oh, cool.
I've seen that.
Nice.
It's fun. I love when wrestlers are nerds. It's very
Speaking
fun.
of costumes.
Hey, there we go. You were like, get me out of here.
No, it's all right. I was like, we've had a nice long show, then we still got more to go. So let's get it. No, this one, I love their costumes. Brilliant planning there. Delicious in Dungeon. This was adorable. And it absolutely makes sense of, it's a great question. Killchuck's like, why does it not bother the frog? I don't know. And he's like, come on, this is like a legit good question.
I did love, like, come on, Monsterpedia. Like,
yes, it was like,
and there were definitely a couple of localization choices in this. Like, Monsterpedia, I think, is one that's going to keep, and You're So Cringe, I think, is one that's going to be a little weird in a few years. You know?
Yeah. Oh,
It's great
I
though.
didn't love that Marcel fell for the "you'll look cute" and I'm like, "Don't, sweetie, don't fall for that. No."
I think it was one of those, they know she's gonna have to wear it. She knows she's gonna have to wear it. This
Yes.
is the, we're trying to sweeten the pot for you a little bit. Because
Yeah.
we're trying to make this not suck because we know that you hate like all of this all the
Yeah.
time. So we're just gonna try and make it better.
Which, fair. When the
Yeah.
blood sticks through their clothes later, I also would be like, "Get it off."
It's like, no, no, thank you.
Okay.
No, no, no. Chill
Uh,
Chuck saving the day, which
yes,
I adore.
brilliant. Loved that. It was a good way to get through everything. And something interesting too, in watching this and talking about it is how this group is probably the only group that is actively interacting with the space in a more, I don't want to say like necessarily just good way, but like really check out the environment. Like most other parties seem to come get the stuff they want and then leave and just raid. And they're really like, they're the nature explorers that, yes, they're killing things to eat and try to get through things, but they're, check out the environment that feels like they are the ones worthy to get the castle or the, the prize at the end. It seems like they're different than everybody else. Which then leads me to the thought process. What do we think of that super political discussion too with our human? And I'm like, isn't he also like a dwarf or
gnome.
something? Gnome. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, isn't he talking about your people? But nope, the other ones.
No, he's a gnome.
Okay.
I do love that we're continuing to widen the scope on this
Yes.
world. I
I
do
thought you
love
liked
that
that
we
world
keep.
building.
Oh my God, yes. You know me.
Yes.
Yeah. I do love that we
And-
keep pulling back and
Yeah.
getting a larger look at things. And I do love that
Yeah.
it's also like explaining some of the things we see in the opening theme. Like in the opening thing, we have a shot of the elves on a boat coming in.
Mhm.
There's still a bunch in that OP that's like, who are you? What's happening in this scene? Tell me your
Mhm.
secrets. So I do love that we have a little context for that we had an elf dwarf war at some
Yep.
point, that this human is just heckin' racist against dwarves. Like, yeah, they're like gophers. Like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Sure, Jan. Sure.
And not like our gnomes much better though too, but
And everyone's just kind of terrible to everyone else. Everyone's got their own set of prejudices for whatever reason. But I do love them pointing out, like, it's not the treasure that matters. It's not the stuff it's not the gold they're able to scrape off the walls or whatever. It's the immortality spell. This thing that they brought up last episode, where it's like, yeah, if you die in the dungeon, it just tethers your soul to your body. But that's specific to the dungeon. So the idea of having that out and available in the world itself is honestly messed up. That is something that will absolutely, as much as we've talked about like balancing the ecosystem of a dungeon, and we've seen what building a dungeon looks like, and Senshi really cares about the ecosystem in the dungeon working, you really want to fuck up your global ecosystem. You make your humans and your human analogs immortal. Like, yikes, kids. Yikes. That is
Ooh, and then actually speaking on that too, we get to see essentially the body delivery system. I thought that was interesting to check in on, has a body arrived or stuff has arrived? What are you looking for? Because we didn't get to see, like that's an example of the world building that we could have heard about that. We didn't need to see the space, but it made it more interesting to be like, hey, I'm checking to see if this person's died, and then like this is what it looks like. And that's super interesting because where do they go, and like how do people claim them, and what happens?
Like, we know that the corpse finders are a thing. Like, we've seen that before. They've talked about how they come down and bring the bodies back up to the surface to be revived or whatever.
Yeah.
So we knew that was a thing, but yeah, you're right. Here's what it looks like. Obviously, this is not her first time checking in. Obviously, this is not the first time one of their party has died, if my dude at the desk can recognize Fallon's description.
He's like, what's up? Yeah. He's like, oh, no, they're not. Oh, I like the age joke again of, I can't tell for other species.
I'm kind of sitting here going, is everyone in Lesbians with Fallon? Because, like, fair. I will buy that as a motivation if, like, everyone is head over heels for this girl. Why not? Let's go.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate, because like the other guy who left and didn't come back, supposedly head over heels in love with her, wanted to propose. And yet this rescue mission to get her back, he chose not to go on it.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then we have Namari checking the corpse finder area just to see if she came through. It's one of those, they don't seem to believe that she's been eaten. They seem to believe that something else has happened. And I'm kind of wondering about that.
That's a valid point. Which, speaking of getting eaten, we finally see the dragon. Yes, that's big. I like that. I'm like, oh, so that's reference. Oh yeah, that's really big.
It's like, actually, that looks where the dragon clonked his head. I appreciate Senshi just going back to bread. Like,
we can't go in hungry, guys. That was the problem last time. I appreciate that too.
Yep.
But
Call back.
I didn't think it was the worst plan to make stuff fall on the dragon. I don't know how effective they'll execute that, but I'm like, you know, that's not the worst. When Laios was like, "This is our plan," I was like,
"It's about the only plan they have with the skill set and manpower that they have on them. Like, there's really not many other options."
No.
What I'm wondering,
bare bones. Yep.
Like, what I'm wondering about here, the mystery that they've posited here, ever since we talked to the orcs and found out that the dragon was up in their village, what is the dragon doing and why? Because we've had, usually they eat and then they fall asleep. So we've had some time. This dragon is active. This dragon is in spaces that are too small for it to comfortably fit. This dragon shouldn't be this far up and shouldn't be doing this. What's going on? Why is the dragon behaving like this? This isn't natural behavior. And usually something like that, if an animal changes its behavior patterns, it's often in distress. I mean, they're fixing to kill it, mind you, but it really does make me wonder, like, what else is going on? Since we have all these politics and we have this, we want to get the revival spell, we want to send more people in. Again, I love that we started with just the premise of she got eaten by a dragon. We have to save her and get her revived before she can be digested. We've got about a week. Great. And then we've just been peeling back the layer. By the way. It's only been like 4 days.
It just feels longer. That's
fair.
I think the thing is,
because we're watching it week to week.
Week to week, and I don't feel an episode is a day, because I think that was kind of the thing, is it almost feels like it's a day, and you're like, dude, it's been like a while. But yeah, sorry.
It's not though. Like, we had ghosts and mer people on the same day, and that was like a 4-episode span.
That's fair.
But yeah, they gave us a very simple premise, and then in terms of like world building and what's actually happening in the story, they just keep peeling back layers of the onion. And I love storytelling like this so much.
Yeah, because they bring you in of a more simple premise, and then they're like, "Don't worry, we got a lot more." And I'm liking that more too, because it is I'll admit, when I started, I did think it was a little more like more slice of lifey fantasy, and which is totally fine. It's not normally my first choice, but when we've been adding more and more to it, and as the episodes have gone on, I'm like, oh, I'm really liking this show. And so I like that there's much more going on, and I think there's other pieces that we've been given that are gonna come back later too.
Going from, oh, it's just gonna be a vibe, to, oh,
yes, exactly.
Tell me more.
Yes. Is there anything else, chat, anybody who also watching, let us know your thoughts on the episode or anything else that stood out to you?
There was something else at the beginning scenes that was pinging my... The bit where Senshi and Laios went off at the same time on their projects. Because usually when we get the narration of someone doing a recipe, I kind of always figured that was just narration, that they weren't actually narrating what they were doing. But the fact that we were getting competing narration, and that she was just like, Marcel was just like, I can't stop both of you at the same time. You have to take turns.
Yep.
And then both of them pressuring her. It's like, I just told you to take turns. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much. This poor long-suffering girl. I adore her.
Also, also a character that has grown too, because when she was first introduced, it was a bit, I don't know about this, but now it's like, oh, okay, a lot more depth, and she's been able to do more, and so I like that we've seen progression, and looking forward to seeing more.
But also in the first few episodes, we've gotten like, this is a frankly terrible time for her. A very
Yes.
old friend / possible lesbian crush /
Yeah.
party members. It's complicated on Facebook. Bring that back around. Has
Like,
died
oh,
in a way
yeah.
that is
Mhm.
not easily revived, and they are on a
Yes.
time limit to get her back. They're missing party members. They have
Yep.
no funding, and they're starving.
Yep.
Like, this is the worst situation. And so the solution is to do this, frankly, distasteful thing. Like, oh God, we're going to eat monsters. These aren't natural. This is messed up. We're going to do this with this total weirdo that we've never met for real. And it is
Ooh.
getting better. But again, it's only been like 4 days
There,
since
yes.
the worst thing. So we kind of do need to be like, yeah, shit sucks right now. We're watching some very funny comedy and some very good meals, but you kind of have to keep in mind that, like, yeah, shit sucks right now. Someone's dead.
But
We're
we didn't get
trying.
Lao's speech, which was nice too, of like, you guys mean so
Yeah.
much. I'm so glad you're here. And I thought, and then he's like, Senshi, you're this random new person joining our group. And
Yeah.
and they all were like, read the room. But
Because we're all sitting here, we're watching this. We're on episode, what, 10?
Yes.
11?
Yeah.
We're on episode later. And for us, it's like, again, we're watching it week to week and we're going, oh, yeah, character development. Oh, yeah, they've had such a long time to. It's been 4 days. That is a lot of character development in 4 days, maybe
Yes.
5 days. I'm not going to pretend I've got the
summer
math
camp
down.
syndrome. It's the you are together so much for so long, your bonds are much more
Intense.
than a regular small interval hangouts. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's
Well-
thinking about the time scale on Dungeon Mesh, it gets a little weird.
Yeah, a little bit. But we shall see more soon.
Indeed.
Yes. All right. And now to stuff you should check out. So these are things we've been watching, reading, games, or whatnot that we think you should check out. And oh yes. Okay. I was like, what did I watch? Continuing Sweet Home, that's season 2. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. That's a really cool Korean show.
So yeah.
Monsters and Things. Season 2 is off to a cool, exciting start. Season 1 is like in an apartment building mainly, and then season 2 is expanded into the world, and there'll be a season 3. So I'm like, oh, sweet. That's kind of nice to know of like
All
going
right.
in. But if you like zombies, monsters, because they're not like zombies because they're different. Everything's different. Like every monster can be different. So they're not exactly all the same. Oh yes. I did. We will mention that in a second too. Yes, like in Sweet Home. Continuing Abbott Elementary, which is adorable. So if you want something lighter and fun. Okay, so the other one I watched, this is one that I've watched once before, but I watched again with a friend, and it was like, oh, it's so good. If you want something lighthearted, funny, and romance, there's a Bollywood movie called Khoobsurat, and it means beautiful, and so that's Khoobsurat. I bet if on Netflix, if you just typed in Khoob, you would probably find it quickly.
Yeah.
This is the modern one. There was one that came out before. I don't remember when.
A while ago.
So this is the new one, and it's just delightful, romance, funny. It's a physical therapist who is working for a royal family. The dad had some kind of injury, and everybody's a bit like square and, formal, and she is color, and she's wacky and very good at her job, but a very different vibe.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the comedy comes in. So it's just delightful. If you want like a sweet, fun romance comedy movie, I highly recommend that one.
All right.
And then Katie, you have some stuff.
Yes. I actually meant to bring this up last week, and then last week occurred, you guys. Everything happens so much. So we mentioned a few weeks ago that the Ablaze manga imprint was going to print the first volume of a series called Gannibal in April. And they were kind enough to send me a review copy. And usually this sort of thing isn't always my speed, but sometimes if you sit me down and get me committed, like, I'll read it. Oh my God, you guys. I mainlined it in about an hour. Oh, just because I could not put it down. Gannibal
Nice.
is a horror story about being up in the mountains, about, you know, a city cop who goes and moves to a very, very small town in Japan to be their on-site policeman, as it were. His predecessor disappeared, just straight up disappeared. And before he disappeared, accused the people in this mountain town of being cannibals. And so that's kind of the are they, aren't they? How does this work, etc. The horror in this book, and I'm not going to go too much into spoiler territory because this really is something you want to read yourself when it drops on April 9th. The horror in this book, part of it is like there might be cannibals running around, part of it is like fear of violence, but a lot of it is outsider in a very close-knit community, not knowing who to talk to, not knowing if the person you're talking to, if you can trust them or if they'll turn on you, not knowing social norms. The guy who was in your position before you disappeared without a trace. And he also brought his wife and his young child up with him. So there's that extra layer of they are characters on their own. They're also involved in what is going on. So it's not always easy to describe that kind of creeping horror of it's not just there's a monster in the woods. It's you are a person in a town where you do not belong and you have no way of knowing what the right steps are, how to balance things, how to keep people safe, what the power balance is. And again, as a policeman, he's bringing in his own authority, and it's a matter of when and how do you exercise it? Are you making the right decisions? Custom versus law, versus what you're accustomed to. Again, I'm one volume in. I was sent the review copy for the first volume. Holy cow. This is not normally my speed. I loved this, and it stuck with me. So if you are a horror person, if you are a gory horror person, and if you are a psychological horror person, pick up Gannibal when it drops in about a month. Because dang, y'all, it's pretty powerful. In my opinion, it's pretty powerful so far.
Nice.
So loved that. In a completely opposite direction, I mainlined an entire season of MasterChef. I found there was one that I forgot to watch, and so I just kind of had it on for background noise, and that's how you mainline 20 episodes of MasterChef. Still watching Next Level Chef, which I adore. Still watching that MasterChef Junior is back. So if you like cooking shows, but you want to watch like 8 to 12-year-olds, MasterChef Junior is extremely cute. And watching Gordon Ramsay work with kids is extremely cute.
Like, he's awful with adults and children. He's like, how can I help you?
He's fairly chill with for MasterChef, there's expectations, but these are home chefs. Hell's Kitchen, and especially Hell's Kitchen US, set the expectation for, he yells and screams and he's angry all the time. It's like the US version turns up the angry Gordon Ramsay yelling. That is not his default state. That is for American television for that specific show. But yeah, MasterChef, there is some there's some expectation here. You guys are adults. You should know what you're doing. But him working with the kids is just adorable.
Aww.
And actually, this season, they brought on a fourth judge. It's his adult daughter.
Aww.
His, grown daughter is also judging on this show. It's really cute. So now it's a family affair. It's just really cute. So I'm enjoying MasterChef Junior. I'm enjoying Next Level Chef. I love my cooking shows. I also went back to Cutthroat Kitchen for a little bit. If you've never seen Cutthroat Kitchen, put it in your eyeballs. It's one of the funniest cooking shows I've ever seen. It's Alton Brown being as chaotic evil as he possibly can. Brings in, there's no continuity. There's no, continuing competition. It's episode by episode, like Chopped. He brings in 4 chefs. He tells them something they'll need to cook. And then he gives them $25,000 each. And there's auctions. So you can buy, if you're trying to make steaks, you can buy a clothing iron. And then one chef, the only heat source they can use is this clothing iron. And you have to do it with one hand tied behind your back, or with like a weird mask on your face, or you have to share a rowboat with another chef and row yourselves around the kitchen together. Cutthroat Kitchen is insane. It's absolutely buck wild. It's very creative. And my favorite bits of it are when someone has been sabotaged and is trying to figure something out. And Alton has this little aside to the camera about, well, if I were in his position, I would be doing this. Or we tested that out. It is possible if he does this. Or I'm really worried that she did this with this thing because it's going to do this and that doesn't turn out well. Like, he has this larger than life, again, chaotic evil auctioneer persona, but those little asides to the camera where it's like, he's a professional chef. He knows what he's doing. And he's educating the audience. Like, I love it. I love Cutthroat Kitchen. It's buck wild. So, of course, I've been spending a lot of time on Hulu because that's where all these shows are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me reading really good horror manga and then just putting a bunch of reality TV in my face.
I was looking over the chat, and a thing that I was like, oh, yes, and we should mention more sad news, but still, Gig Derek says, go watch Ruby and go watch Dragon Ball. So, yes, if you are unawares, the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, has passed away, and it was March 1st, and not that old, too. So it's kind of like,
yeah, early 60s, I want to say.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I had it. But it sounds like a
subdural hematoma.
He was 68 years old.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was us. I was like, and the subdural hematoma, I'm like, oh.
Which is brain bleed, essentially.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Between him and Kazuki Takahashi, like, guys, stop it.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yeah. But it's also interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to change the subject a little.
But Crystal, who's been on the show before, she did a cool video on, like legacy and what you make. And I thought that was pretty neat perspective. And it is really interesting, just like someone who makes something and just that kind of ripple effect it can have. Yeah. And you never know. And like, that's really cool that this person created something that like people around the world know and love, and has affected other things. And so if Dragon Ball is one of your first animes, I know it's one of mine, let us know your thoughts on what got you into that show, and your favorite Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z movie or season series.
Yes.
Whatever you prefer, let us know.
And the Ruby side of that was that Warner Brothers Discovery has chosen to shut down Rooster Teeth after I believe 20 years of production. So there's a few months left in the company to kind of figure out what they're doing. They will still be making the final season of Red vs. Blue. Ruby Volume 10, 0 word. Nothing. We know nothing. So it is entirely possible that Ruby will go without closure for its story. We don't know. We're kind of hoping that someone else picks it up, that Warner Brothers Discovery does not pull a Coyote versus Acme and let someone else pick up the rights to finish the damn thing. So we don't know. We don't know. It's another casualty of Warner Brothers and Zaslav and just all this noise that's happening right now. Pour one out, fam. It was a wild ride.
Yes. I realized I should have changed it to news earlier, but
yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
But
we all do our best,
It is that Monday after Daylight Savings Time energy, but we are here happy talking to all of you. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave comments down below on the different stuff we've talked about, or you can message us as well. And be sure to follow here on the Fanversation channel. Click subscribe. Give a video a thumbs up. If you're brand new here, we have a whole playlist on voice actors, a lot of film festivals, events. Suzume, which was also getting awards and attention lately. We have a whole playlist on that too. We went to their blue carpet. They had a blue one, which is cool. And yeah, so make sure you check out all those locations. And over on Twitter, NTATNB is a good way to follow and get information. And There we go. And where can they find you online, Katie?
You can follow me all over social media as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I'm also a co-host on Silver Screams. It is the horror channel I do with my roommates. So if you ever want to see me jump out of my skin, we have reaction videos on there. People seem
Nice.
to enjoy that.
Those can be very entertaining. I mean, people reacting, animals reacting to things. You know, we just like to see people and things react. I just was watching some where it's like playing peekaboo with your pet, and those can be very amusing.
Yeah, the trailers for the new Halloween movies, or the new ones, they've been out for a few years, are very effective. So if you want to see me, those and the Evil Dead Rise trailer for the big reactions.
Nice. And I was just looking over the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining over there in the live chat. And you can follow me online at Carrie D Lane. That's Karidlane. And across all social media platforms. More recently, here on the Fanversation channel, there is a playlist for the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. Some of the highlights talk to Academy Award nominated actors and involved with projects that were nominated and won different things. Jeffrey Wright and Paul Giamatti, as well as other independent filmmakers. If you're into indie film, those are also a good playlist to check out, as well as I got a lot of different stuff on my Instagram or TikTok and across. So thank you for checking those out in advance. And thank you again for joining us here. We'll be seeing you.
Thank you, Godswill, for joining us.
Yes.
If you are in Dallas next weekend, or in LA the weekend after that, definitely head to the Gold Saucer Party. Like, again, having done his parties, they are always phenomenal. Check out his convention in May. And yeah, thanks again for coming on, Godswill. It's always fun to talk with him.
Yes. Thank you. It's that like trying to remember all the things, and I'm like, yes. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.